So what happens when you increase your profit in your cleaning company? I'm going to walk you through a few scenarios with this Excel spreadsheet. The download link will be below. It's going to help you totally identify how much more money you're going to make and what's going to happen. And even better, I've got another section right here where I'll actually show you how many clients you can afford to lose based on how much you're increasing your prices. So let's get right into it. There's a lot of talk lately about, should I increase my prices? Is it worth it? Here are the actual real numbers and the real facts. Now, first, I've got another Excel spreadsheet that can help you figure out your cost of doing business, because that's pretty important too, and it really goes along with this. These are based on what I know a lot of cleaning companies typically have for a cost of doing business. Typically, your profit margin is going to be somewhere between 10 and 20%. If you're doing really, really, really well, it might be 25 or 30, right? Nobody really makes more than that. I mean, when all's said and done, you need to take into account cell phones, vehicle miles, everything. That's why that other Excel spreadsheet can help. But be honest to yourself. If you're wanting a really quick way, figure out what all of your costs were last month and even include in vehicle miles, because you might not have maintained your vehicle with a new engine or a new transmission or tires or whatever in the last month. But take that into account and then divide that by how many jobs you did. And that's how much your average, really rough average cost per client of actual cost is. So here we go. On this sheet right here, we've got some basic smaller typical cleaning job scenarios where this is the cost and then they raise the price by 10% and the new price is this, the new profit is this, and then the profit increase just by raising 10% on a lower cost job of $150 is often 50%. And remember this, guys, the profit is really all that counts for numbers in any business, right? Who cares how much you made in sales? I know guys that made over $1 million in sales that didn't make any profit, right? So profit is the important thing, the critical thing. Without profit, you're not staying in business, right? Figure out what that profit is. That's why you have to really know for real, honestly, what your cost is and what the profit is. So these are real typical scenarios, right? $300 job. See, what I wanted to portray here is a $150 job or a $300 job. If it's the same job, if the cost is the same, look how much more your profit actually is. Profit per client, 210 versus 45. This is huge. This is one reason why you could actually afford to do so much of a price increase and lose so many clients. We'll kind of go over that in just a minute as well. We're also looking at some of the little bit bigger high ticket job items. So $1,500 job, if you increase it 10%, now you're making 37.5% more profit. That means 37.5% more money at the end of the year. You can take this sheet, put in your numbers, figure out what your numbers actually are. But this is pretty eye-opening. But here's what's even more eye-opening, right? We're going to take a couple of scenarios. First, let's take this scenario right here. A typical smaller job, $150 job. The cost, realistically, for a lot of cleaning companies could be around $110, $120. That means your profit's only $30. You raise your prices by 10% to $165. Now your profit's $45 per job. That's a 50% profit increase. But you're also wondering, how many clients can I afford to lose at that level? Well, on this other sheet that we've got within the sheet 3, just click on the other tab. This is what we're looking at here. Let's say on any given week, you do around 22 jobs. We can do a little bit less than that in a minute because the sheet will reflect that and show us. But your profit, again, the new profit's 45, the old profit's 30. We don't even have a sales amount because that doesn't matter. In this scenario especially, sales aren't even important. It's just profit, right? So your new profit's 45, your old was 30. So the additional profit per week is 330. You can afford to lose, at these margins, you can afford to lose one client for every 2 clients you're doing, right? That means that if you're doing 22 jobs in a given week, you can still afford to lose 7.3 clients. That means you can do 7 jobs less than the 22 and still make the same amount of profit. This is critical, guys, to understand this. Let's say you're only doing, I don't know, 16 jobs a week. a little bit lower volume, right? You can still afford to lose 5 clients per week and make the same amount of profit. And again, getting that out on a calculator, that would be 16 jobs. That would be actually, let's say 11 jobs times the $45 profit. You're still making $495. You're making more profit by only doing 11 jobs instead of 16. This is just from a 10% price increase, guys. So if your prices are that low, and again, it slides based on a lot of different factors, mostly with how many jobs you're actually doing and what your actual profit is. But for a typical cleaning company, right, that's only got a smaller $150 job average, if they raise their prices 10%, they can lose 5 jobs per week and still make the same amount of profit, maybe even more profit. Super, super critical to understand this, guys. So let's say the bigger jobs, right? $900 job, current cost $600, profit $300, new profit $390. So let's put that in, $300 and $390. So let's go there, $390 for new profit, old profit. This is for a little bit bigger job. What can you afford to lose there, right? So you're still only doing 16 jobs per week. You can afford to lose 3.5 clients of those big jobs. So here's what I want to ask to you. Do you want to concentrate on more quality clients or more quantity clients? I think this exercise and scenario can clearly let you know that quantity of clients is not important. It's quality of clients. It's how much profit you make on each job. Now, here's the thing too, guys. When you're going to be a higher price company, you need to have your marketing in order. That's why I'm talking to you about this right now. Your marketing needs to be in order. You need to look like you're the brand that's very well worthy of that higher prices. If you don't have all those ducks in a row, if you don't have a nicely lettered van, you're going to have a harder time. Now, you might get away with it, don't get me wrong, but you're going to have a harder time. If you don't have nice logo t-shirts, if you don't have a nice website, it doesn't have to be the best website in the world, but a decent website. If you don't have nice company literature, if you don't communicate clearly with clients, if you don't market back to them regularly with postcards, emails, and texts, you're going to have a really hard time charging sometimes even 10% more. Concentrate on all of those things. I would just go ahead and raise your prices now. That way you've got the money to concentrate on all of those things. You can afford to lose 3 clients, 5 clients a week. Let's say it's a higher volume. Let's maybe, 80. Let's say you do 80 jobs a week. These are bigger jobs. You can afford to lose 18, right? So let's say that same price point we had before, that lower price point. $45 is the new, $30 is the old. And now you can still afford to lose 26. You're doing 80 clients per week. At the first scenario, $45 profit and your old profit was 30. You raised your prices by 10%. Now you can afford to lose 26 clients, guys. Concentrate on your marketing, concentrate on your brand. You can charge more, you can do less jobs, have less headache, and make more money. I can help you with all of these things. I've got some spots right now open for personal one-on-one consultation. If you need to join a mastermind, we've got a mastermind available too. I'll put the links for that below this video. Let me know what questions you have.